Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, December 9, 2024. Now before we jump into it, I must thank you all for all of the well wishes that you've sent. I'm thankful that so many of you really are concerned about my well-being. I am still recovering from the flu. I've been coughing a lot recently, and yes, I've been taking your suggestions, your recommendations about, eating garlic, drinking lime and honey, Guinean weed tea, vitamin C, hisatusin, as well as the pills. I've definitely been on it. I'm trying to take care of the cough so that it doesn't get out of hand. I'm still coughing, so if you hear me cough, you know that we're still working on that. Hopefully I'll be better before the end of this week. Please ensure that you guys leave a like on this video. I'm trying to get it all the way up to at least 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video, and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems, so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar at the bottom of the video to skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most. You can also utilize the timestamps in the comment section as well as the video description. There's no need for you to stay here and watch the entire video from start to finish if you're just looking for specific material. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the next 7 days in terms of what the Euro as well as the GFS supercomputer models are showing. So keep your eyes focused at the timestamp right here at the top. We're just going to be going on to the next 168 hours, and we're going to be focusing our attention across the Caribbean, and we have Jamaica right here for reference. And we're going to be looking for all of this that we see on the key on the right, the greens into the darker shades of greens, into the yellows, into the oranges, into the reds. That represents inches of rainfall. You know, it's 1 inch of rainfall in the light shades of greens, up to 5 inches of rainfall in the darker shades of greens. The yellows 16 or 6 inches of rainfall, all the way up to the 12s, all the way up to the reds right there. But we're not going to be getting in on those crazy colors at all, in the yellows, oranges, or reds. More so some greens than anything else. Alright, so let us see what the next 7 days hold. So heading into Tuesday, we see that there are going to be some dots of greens in and around the island for sure. Maybe some isolated showers here and there on Tuesday, especially during the afternoon. Wednesday, we see some greens, especially to the south of Hispaniola, to the south of Jamaica right there. Pushing through Wednesday, we see it's usually more so afternoon rainfall for sure. By the way, we can make out the line of showers associated with that frontal system that's currently affecting a portion of the southern and eastern United States as we speak. Excuse me. And we've been talking a lot about how this frontal system doesn't seem like it wants to make it as far east as Jamaica, because we see that by the time the moisture associated with it gets into the Cayman Islands, the ridge of high pressure's flow of easterly starts to push it back towards the west. But that doesn't stop us from getting in on some northeasterly flow, that northeasterly moisture returning definitely by Saturday into Sunday. We spoke about this, and there's also an abundance of moisture that's expected to lash portion of the Bahamas, eastern Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic as we head into the weekend too. And we're going to be stopping right there at the end of the 168 hours. This is by 12Z on Monday, December 6th, which is actually 7 a.m. on Monday, December 6th. And we see that there's going to be an increase in moisture right there across the southwestern Atlantic to the northeast of the Bahamas, to the northeast of Hispaniola. We also see some rainfall in and around Jamaica, even to the west of us, to the south of the Cayman Islands too. Let us see if the GFS model is showing something similar. So heading into Tuesday, yes, there's going to be some afternoon rainfall. 0Z on Wednesday, December 11 is actually 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So Definitely some afternoon to evening rainfall for sure across section of especially southern and eastern parishes. We're going to be looking on more of that up close later on. But we can see the moisture associated with that cold front definitely going to be lashing the eastern coast of the US, stretching all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, as well as into Mexico itself, pushing eastward, and then we see what happens. The moisture associated with it definitely starts to become more stationary across the Western Caribbean. Not going to be making it to Jamaica at all with all the strong winds and rainfall. But a northeastern flow is definitely coming our way this weekend, Saturday into Sunday. Could definitely bring some rainfall to sections of Portland, St. Mary as well. And we see the isobars associated with the moisture. Something up there to the north of Hispaniola. Not necessarily anything trying to form. I know you guys have been seeing some things going on social media, especially considering that the Hurricane Center hasn't said anything. There's no way we're going to be getting another system at all this year. And we're going to be stopping it right there. 18th on Monday, December 6th is the same time frame right here being shown on the euro. And we see the differences. The euro has more of the rainfall to the west of Jamaica, to the south of Jamaica. The GFS doesn't have much of the rainfall in and around Jamaica at all. Most of it seems to be to the north of the eastern Caribbean. So we have some contrast right there. But clearly in the first, let's say 5 days, we see some similarities for sure. And regarding the accumulated precipitation forecast, we see more in the way of greens, yellows, oranges, and light shades of reds that represents all the way from 0.1 of an inch of rainfall up to at least maybe close to an inch of rainfall for the most part across the entire Caribbean. The most in the way of rainfall, we're talking about the burgundies into the purples and the pinks and the salmon colors, should be still lashing portions of Belize, northeastern Guatemala, northern Honduras, section of southeastern Nicaragua, section of Costa Rica, Panama right there, as well as the waters to the east of Trinidad and Tobago heading down into Guyana as well. And we see that even the GFS model is showing something similar with the most in the way of rainfall across these various spots. But regarding the close-up of Jamaica in terms of the rainfall that's expected within the next 7 days, don't look at this and think, oh, there's a lot more rainfall coming this week for St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. Most of this rainfall is definitely coming as we head into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, we've been talking about this. So the rest of this week, for the most part, should be, let's say, some isolated showers, especially during the morning hours. If not, partly cloudy skies and sunshine for the most part. We're talking about Tuesday to Friday. While the actual rainfall now that we're seeing being accumulated here is valid for Saturday and Sunday. Keep in mind that this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 7 a.m. on Monday, December 16. So there's rainfall to come from northeastern Jamaica, but not necessarily for the rest of this week, but definitely as they head into Saturday and the Sunday, the weekend. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a ridge of high pressure right here to the north or the northeast of the Bahamas. We can see the frontal system right here that has induced a trough into portion of excuse me, the southeastern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, northern Hispaniola right there. And we see another ridge of high pressure right here to the northwest of Africa that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can definitely make out these entities. First of all, the clouds associated with the cold front that's expected to push eastward and affect the northwestern Caribbean later this week. We can see the clouds associated with that other frontal system and the clouds of the trough that's induced stretching and pushing from east to west into portions of Cuba, the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos right there. And this frontal system stretches all the way up into the Azores Islands right here. And we can definitely make out that low-level flow pushing those low-level clouds from east-west. We see a lot of it passing to the south of Jamaica today. We spoke about the moisture that was supposed to be to the southeast of Jamaica today. And I definitely saw the clouds to the southeast of Kingston. And we can definitely make out the thunderstorm clouds right here passing to the south of Haiti, passing to the south of Jamaica, pushing from east-west in that easterly flow. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean today later on. let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, December 9, 2024. It was stated that rain continues tonight, we're talking about last night, into Monday morning, and that it would have been mainly affecting sections of some central and eastern parishes last night. But if you remember yesterday's video, we also added that the east-northeasterly flow would have brought more of the rainfall to sections of some northern parishes, especially when the sun came up. Either way, we know that central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clan, and St. Catherine. Eastern parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. While northern parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And what ended up happening? As early as 7:21 a.m., the visible satellite image was posted here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the visible satellite image that was posted a little after 7, and we saw the clouds bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, to sections of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, and even section of St. James at that time, just as predicted. And we even got the confirmation from some of you guys last night. I definitely got the comments of it raining in sections of St. Andrew, Kingston, section of St. Catherine, St. Mary, Portland, as well as St. Thomas. I told you about the rainfall that Portland was receiving. We even highlighted it on the Cuban Doppler radar imagery for sure. But regarding what took place today, we saw that it was definitely a mostly sunny day. We can definitely make out that northeasterly flow across the island definitely brings some clouds into section of some northern parishes. But we saw that the most in the way of rainfall associated with those clouds was focused in the morning. During the afternoon, definitely partly cloudy for the most part. The southern side of the island definitely getting on more sunshine than anything else today. And even the infrared close-up satellite images show that we didn't get in on much in the way of rainfall today at all. We can make out the cirrus clouds being sheared off and pushed off towards the east, to highlight that there is some rainfall to the far southwest of us, maybe some thunderstorms blowing these cloud tops off towards the east. Nothing within these clouds at all, so don't think that there's rainfall in them at all. We see these clouds passing now across St. Elizabeth, doubt there's rain there. We see these clouds now passing over Negril, doubt there's rain there. It's just some serious high clouds as we speak. We can definitely make them out right here. Even better on the infrared rainbow satellite images, we can see these clouds pushing in from the west to east. That's just some upper level winds blowing those high clouds towards that direction. Nothing significant happening right now. If we take a look at what's happening or what took place on the Flatbridge camp today, we see that at around 1:10 p.m. nothing significant as usual. The rear Cobra with some very murky waters right there. Nothing significant in terms of bad weather, rainfall, or anything like that. Definitely sunny for the most part across this portion of St. Catherine today. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have this live stream up and running each and every day for your viewing pleasure. Just ensure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out whenever they plan on, increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. But we definitely got some comments about what was taking place today. Some here on our Instagram page from share_Dud stating, it's sunny here in the downtown Kingston area. And Laura_Love Insta stating, it's sunny in my area. Even on our Facebook page, we had the confirmation of the sunshine on the south coast. Demi is young, sunny in Kingston. But 10 hours ago, we got the confirmation from Sylvia Bando confirming the rainfall on the north coast. That was in the morning for sure. Look at that, 8:24 a.m. She stated on and off rain more than a month now in Brownstone State, and rain every day. Alright, so that indicator confirms the rainfall for the north coast and the sunshine for the south coast for sure. If we take a look at the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, let's see what's happening right now. Alright, so the very latest still image just came out at 23:25 UTC, so that's about 6:25 p.m. So that just came out 7 minutes ago, considering that it is 6:32 p.m. right now. We can see the colorful clouds, the cirrus clouds at that, across southwestern Jamaica. Remember what I said? There's definitely no rainfall within all of that, and let's match it to the latest Cuban Doppler radar images just to be sure. Alright, so we're reloading these images. Hopefully they actually reload and show the very latest timestamp. It should be at around 6:20, if not 6:30, if it's already loaded 6:30. Alright, so 6:10, 6:20. Alright, it's loaded the 6:30 p.m. Doppler radar image. That's good. So the latest image just came out 3 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:33 p.m. right now. And we can even make out some of the rainfall that we spoke about on the visible satellite images, passing quickly from east to west to the south of Jamaica. Some of that rainfall associated with a surface trough, lots of moisture passing from east to west to the south of the island as we speak. And we can even make out some of the rainfall right there, the greens that represent moderate, that's moderate rainfall, passing right there to the south of Kingston and St. Catherine too. But we can see that there's nothing taking place across the island. If you see greens and yellows, that's not rainfall. That's actually a glitch called ground clutter. So don't be fooled into thinking that what you see across the east and the northern portion of the island is rainfall. That's not rainfall at all, especially considering that we can't match it to what we're seeing on the infrared satellite images. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, we can make out some rainfall across eastern Cuba. Not much taking place across the waters in and around Jamaica or Haiti at all. And if we also take a look at the Cayman radar, not seeing much in there of rainfall in and around the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cuba at all. Just some rain bands right here to the far southwest of the Cayman Islands. If we take a look at the very latest live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing halfway tree, quite a busy halfway tree. People going about their business for sure. More than likely they're all heading home, if not working on the night shift to head to work. Definitely wrapping up a long day or getting ready to start a long night of work for sure. Definitely dry conditions as we speak. Nothing in the way of rainfall expected at this time, 6:34 p.m. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Tuesday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18th on Tuesday when calculated. That's 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight orange colors. And we can see from the key on the right, the slight orange colors are representative of up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of December across Jamaica are around 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to Celsius, we get up to 30.6 degrees Celsius. So given that the temperature forecast is for around 2 degrees Celsius above normal for Tuesday, it should be anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. And these temperatures could definitely be even worse for those persons who are going to be experiencing power outages. So according to the MyJPS Online's Twitter page, they've stated that there is going to be maintenance outage advisories out for these areas. And keep in mind that I started to do this because we know that, boy, if we don't have our fan or AC to cool us down, it definitely makes the heat even worse. We live in Jamaica, even when it's winter, it's still hot. So a power outage advisory is out for Ricketts Avenue. Excuse me, Ricketts Avenue, That's located in the parish of Westmoreland for Tuesday, December 10, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. We also have Keswick Place and Cumberland in St. Catherine for Tuesday, December 10. That's for between 12:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. Also have Gibraltar, not sure if I'm butchering that place's name. That's in St. Anne for Tuesday, December 10 from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Even Grange to Jerusalem in Hanover, Tuesday, December 10, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And finally, we have Zion Hill to Marlborough in St. Mary for Tuesday, December 10, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way so that they can make preparations for what is to come. And regarding the heat that you might experience, please ensure that you always try to dress down, wear lightweight clothing, and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans if your electricity isn't out, as well as the AC. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated. Put away the sugary drinks, drink water instead. Regarding the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we can definitely see the dry air is encompassing the entire Atlantic basin in general, all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Lots of dry air in and around, even although we see some moist air to the south of the island that could definitely be associated with the rainfall, associated with that surface trough passing from east to west, definitely moistening up our atmosphere. So you might just get on some of the moisture associated with that tomorrow. And we see the actual Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, having all the browns that represent the Saharan dust still across the waters of the main development region, even spilling into section of northeastern South America right there. We know the Saharan dust can definitely cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. So please keep a close watch. We know there's a ridge of high pressure somewhere in here. We know it's been closer to Africa, but it's starting to inch definitely closer from east to west. We just hope that the more west it goes, the more it dwindles, like it has been doing for the past 5 months. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS are adamant that they're going to be blues in and around Cuba, Jamaica, as well as Hispaniola, representing 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. Lots of purples representing up to maybe even 2.8 meter wave height to the north of Colombia, north of Panama, to the far south of Jamaica. Some choppy seas there. Eastern Caribbean averaging up to, I'm not seeing it, let's see if we can make it out, 1.2 meter wave heights. But that's because the winds are going to be averaging over there 14 knots to the waters to the north of Jamaica, 16 knots to the waters to the immediate south of Jamaica, 17 knots. But right there to the north of Colombia, 23 knot winds. And you see all of that is representing what we see on the key on the bottom right, the yellows. Some strong winds, so it makes sense that the waves are definitely going to be high as well across those waters to the north of Colombia, to the far south of Jamaica, to the far south of Haiti as well. But regarding the close-up of Jamaica, we see what's taking place. The winds definitely coming out of the east for the most part, especially on the south coast. Kind of looks like it's coming from the east-northeast on the north coast. But we see the least amount of wind should be across the southern portion of the island. That's where all of the air could pile up, bring us some afternoon rainfall for sure. So let us see if we get some of that during the afternoon. And with the upper level winds coming in more so from the west tomorrow, kind of coming like, or kind of seems like it's coming in from the west northwest. It could favor some southern parishes. It could favor. Let's see if we actually get that. Either way, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing the blues represent rainfall affecting eastern Jamaica. It's looking to be more like northern and eastern parishes, maybe St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, sections of St. Thomas, maybe sections of St. Andrew. And the Euro GFS more so St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne for around 11 a.m. and the thing is, it has been showing this since about 6 a.m. so it's gonna be an interesting morning. Maybe some isolated showers across the east. Then during the afternoon now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 4 p.m. on Tuesday. We see rainfall for eastern parishes, we see rainfall for central parishes, and we see rainfall for western parishes. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS models. And the GFS is definitely adamant that southern Jamaica could get some of the most in the way for rainfall. We see the dark shades of blues that represents a high signal for rainfall. So the forecast is definitely gonna be excuse me, for morning rainfall across sections of some northern and eastern parishes. Afternoon rainfall across sections of, let's say, especially given the flow of the winds, I'm more inclined to believe what the GFS is showing, that is going to be more so eastern and southern parishes that's going to be getting that afternoon of rainfall, not necessarily eastern, central, and western like what the Euro is showing. And even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that the most in the way for rainfall within the next 24 hours should be across the east for sure. We see the greens into the yellows up to at least 0.3 of an inch of rainfall on the Euro. GFS showing maybe all the way up to 0.4 of an inch of rainfall, especially to the far eastern end of the island. We'll see exactly how that goes. Either way, you know, we're in our dry season, our first month of our dry season. In December in Kingston, we usually receive up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. That's up to 1 inch of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 4 inches of rainfall. That's almost 100 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives throughout the year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and they'll show you that information. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have that low level flow of clouds and winds from east to west across the Caribbean. Some of these clouds definitely packing a punch with some isolated shores across the leeward and windward islands. We can also see the flow of the troughs, low level clouds pushing in to the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas, Cuba for sure, getting in on some of that rainfall across Cuba. We also see some rainfall, cloud cover, as well across sections of Guatemala, Belize. Honduras still getting on somewhat of wet conditions as we speak. We also see some rainy conditions across sections of French Guiana, Suriname, as well as Guyana and Venezuela. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's see what's happening down there. Alright, so we do see some isolated shores. We see the hit or miss green colors that represent some, let's say, light to moderate rainfall currently across northeastern Puerto Rico at this time, 6:40 p.m. and this just came out 5 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:45 p.m. right now. We see some rainfall affecting Guadeloupe, some rainfall to the north of Codrington, Antigua and Barbuda, some rainfall affecting the US Virgin Islands. And loading these images from earlier today, we're definitely getting on some rainfall across sections of central and western, as well as northeastern Puerto Rico, section of the British Virgin Islands, Antigua and Barbuda, section of Dominica definitely got a soaking as well. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see section of Dominica still getting on some rainfall, if not some more to come from the east. So to section of Martinique, as well as St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Grenadines definitely getting a soaking as we speak, with that line of showers right here, stretching from Barbados all the way down. We can also see maybe Grenada getting on some of that later on tonight from this band to the northeast of there. And we don't see much happening across Trinidad and Tobago right now, but that could definitely change. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall to the east of Belize, some isolated shores to the east of Nicaragua, some rainfall passing from east to west to the north of the ABC Islands as well. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see that the most in the way of rainfall should still be right here across section of eastern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua. Some of this rainfall could make it into section of Trinidad, eastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. We see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with that. We even see isolated showers in the forecast for coastal areas of Venezuela, southern and eastern Venezuela, section of the ABC Islands, western Colombia, section of Panama, section of Belize, northeastern Guatemala, eastern Cuba, section of Haiti, the Dominican Republic, southeastern Bahamas, section of the Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico, section of the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, section of Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia could get in on some of the isolated shore activity as well, even spilling as far as section of St. Vincent and Barbados. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. And we know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.